there's a place where you really live, where you can do what you love to do. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires. Gain miles and save money with EcoPlus technology. Continental Tire, for what you do.
And welcome back to Cardinal Gibbons High School, Raleigh, North Carolina. Going to play two today. The high school boys All-America game is in the books. And now we get you set for the 2015 girls high school All-America game here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome back to TopDoorSoccer.com, and we thank Continental Tire, our presenting sponsor. I'm Dean Linke, along with Allie Dosman, a former high school and college club star. Allie, delighted to be with you. Boys game in the books. Now we get set for the girls. Should be a good one.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to be here, Dean. That boys game was exciting to watch, and I've been looking up all these girls, and we definitely have some all-stars out there, so I'm pumped for this game as well.
All right, the lineups are being introduced on the field. We'll show them to you right here. First off, the goalkeepers and the defenders: Aaron Seppi, Morgan Busaka, Lauren Swerrell, Chantel Swaby. Her sister plays at Boston College. Swaby's going to go to Rutgers. Jalen Thompson and Amanda Visco. That is your goalkeepers and defenders. Your midfielders are Sophia Galati, Allie Reynolds, Casey Richards, Jade Reuters, Francesca Venezia, Nicole Whitley, and Carrie Zerfoss. Those are the midfielders. And then your forwards are Kayla Aristivo, Jenna Bike, Sydney Brackett, Opal Curlis, Rachel Kingston, and Megan McCool. Megan McCool, player you talked about.
Yeah, Megan McCool is one of the best players out there today. She has had just a dominant high school career. If you look at it, she has scored over 100 goals. She scored more goals out there in her high school career than anyone else on the field.
Big-time coaches as well. Tara Madigan, the head coach at Northern Highlands in Allendale, New Jersey. Jack Nagara, St. Joseph High in Connecticut. And David Wolf from Houston High in Germantown, Tennessee. Those are your East coaches. And now the lineup for, actually the full roster for the West team, goalkeepers and defenders: Lauren DeMarchi, Olivia Silverman, goalkeepers, then defenders Erin Convery, Lucy Davidson, Allison King, Gabby Little, Madison Lauk, and Allison Whitfield. And your midfielders for the West team: Sam Hyatt, a player that Allie Dosman told you about, Amber Hoot, Taylor Korniak, Jordan Lacey, Macy Miller, and Jalen Woodard. And your forwards are Layla Bensah-Johnson, Ireland Dunn, Maddie Gonzalez, Ramey Shirley, M.A. Vignola, and Morgan Weaver.
Yeah, one to watch on that list, Ireland Dunn. Her high school team won 24 straight games for her to finish it out, and she's been playing up some with the U18 women's national team as well.
The head coach is Allie for the West, Don Brayman, Skyline High in Washington, Tom Bono, also from Washington State, and then Deborah LaPrath from Santa Rosa, California. And these coaches put in the work. Full practice yesterday, a walkthrough today, and boy, you could tell by the intensity in the boys' high school All-America game, they don't just want to play it, they want to win it.
Oh, no, they definitely want to win it. When I was talking to Sam Hyatt yesterday, the first thing she said to me was that she was pumped to come out here and beat the East. So that was interesting to hear. You know, it's not just, it's friendly, but it's not all friendly. It's definitely competitive.
Good look here. There is the East team. They are in the red and dark blue stripes. The West team will be in a lighter blue as you take a look at the East team being introduced here at Cardinal Gibbons High School, Raleigh, North Carolina. What an unbelievable setting, as we'll actually step aside for the national anthem here on TopDrawerSoccer.com. National anthem complete here at Cardinal Gibbons High School, Raleigh, North Carolina. Host for the second year in a row to the 2015 Boys and Girls High School All-America Games. And you can see right there the huddle for the West. And right across the jerseys, Continental Tires come up big here as a sponsor, Allie.
Yeah, and those jerseys look pretty good. I like the light blue that the girls are wearing. The boys didn't have a chance to rock those ones earlier.
And that's a good look here at the East huddle as well. Actually, that was the West huddle, so they switched benches on us. So the East wearing the light blue, and it'll be the West wearing the red and blue.
Guess that's Carolina blue since we're down here.
Indeed, not too far from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, though right across the street from NC State. Good crowd here for both games at Cardinal Gibbons High School, one of the premier high schools in the state of North Carolina, right here in the capital city of Raleigh, North Carolina. And indeed, the East will be wearing the Carolina blue jerseys. They switched benches on us here for the second game, and it'll be the West in the red and blue stripes. And the East huddle is getting set as we're ready to get started here at Cardinal Gibbons High School. You can see also the middle of the field, Eric Stratman, the director for the high school All-America Games, done an amazing job. We talked to him at halftime of the first game. A lot of work to make this happen, Allie.
Yeah, there was, and they've done a great job so far today. The girls all seemed like they were having fun yesterday, and I think that they've been really accommodating, and I think it's a great event.
So the girls' coaches, the East team led by Tara Madigan, Northern Highlands, Allendale, New Jersey, 13 years. She is indeed intense. She's been a coach in every girls' All-America game and is very instrumental in the success. Her teams have won 5 New Jersey Group 2 state titles, 8 league titles, 6 Bergen County titles, as she will kind of be running point for the East All-America team. And then, of course, on the West, they've got Don Brayman, Tom Bunnell, and Deborah LaPrath. And Deborah from Santa Rosa, California, you'll also see her front and center as well. And we are underway, and they'll knock it out of bounds. We've got a couple injuries here, and that is a key part of what they try to do here, get players in there that can't really go because of injuries. And you'll see 2 of them come off here now for the West. Number 31, Olivia Silverman, will come off, as well as number 21, M.A. Vignola from St. Ursula High in Cincinnati.
Yeah, they said yesterday that Vignola's been struggling with a concussion, and they didn't know she'd be able to make it in.
Okay, so those 2 players, and now we can get going with the regular action. East in the light blue jerseys. Push it forward. Trying to find the feet there of Jenna Bike from St. Joseph High.
Jenna Bike is going to be one of those players you want to watch today. Her junior year, she was Connecticut Gatorade State Player of the Year, and she's also U19 Women's National Team member.
Allie Dosman loaded up with great information on all the players. She'll be breaking that down to you today. Delighted to have Allie in the booth here at Cardinal Gibbons High School. Pushing forward for the West, Taylor Korniak. Big, tall, 6'2". She will play collegiately at Colorado in the Pac-12.
We watched her yesterday at practice, Dean, and she was really strong with not only her feet but her head as well.
So good in front of the goal was Korniak. All the coaches talking about the fact that if she gets loose inside the 18, she could be dangerous. You take a look here at the replay.
Yeah, they already, look at the West, already getting going. You have number 16 out there, Gabby Little. You know, she's listed as defender, but all time she typically plays forward, so you'll see her making those runs right up the middle.
Center back for the West, Sam Hyatt. And of course, Sam Hyatt going to Boston College, and also, as Allie Dosman told us in the open before the boys game, if you're just joining us, she's part of the U20 program, right?
Yeah, Sam Hyatt is just pretty much an all-star. Her high school team won states just 2 weeks ago in a 1-0 final, and they were missing 3 of their high school starters. So that was a pretty rough ride for them that she was able to help anchor.
Long run coming a moment ago from Erin Convery from Ridge High School. She's going to go to Boston College as well. Also running around is Maddie Gonzalez from Santa Rosa, California. She'll play for Dr. Smith at Santa Clara. The West has held possession for the majority of the time so far, as that one comes from distance from number 22, Amber Hoot.
Amber Hoot won Mental Attitude Award of the Year her junior year, so she's just one of those people that's, really solid.
The goalkeepers for the West are Lauren DeMarchi. And Lauren DeMarchi will pretty much have to go the entire way for the West because Olivia Silverman is out. Speaking of the West, they are attacking the East goal. The goalkeepers for the East is Erin Seppi. And I think she may go the entire way as well as Brooke Heintzen. I'm not sure is even here.
Yeah, and that might not be such a bad thing because we saw in the guys' game plenty of restarts with those kicks and those corner kicks and everything like that. And with the goalies being able to get kind of set, I think that might not be such a bad thing.
Good play, good call, getting the flow of the game, and they've got full 90 minutes. They'll play 90 no matter what, even with a tie. We thought that first game was going to end in a tie as the West scored late, but the East came right back with the winner to walk away with a 2-1 victory. The girls' game just underway here on TopDrawerSoccer.com. We thank the good folks at Continental Tire, especially Travis Roffler and Amanda Henson, for making it happen. The East in the light blue. Trying to put some passes together as early on it's been mostly the West team. Francesca Venezia, number 13, is over on the far side. It'll go out of bounds off the West. Throw in. Venezia will get it back. Calling for the ball in the middle of the field there is Carrie Zerfoss, number 8. She's still calling for it. Now Zerfoss has it. Zerfoss will check it back, finding the feet of number 22, Laura Suero from Royalsford, Pennsylvania. She'll go to Penn State. How about the Nittany Lions? They'll play for the national championship tomorrow right down the road here at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, about 5 miles from this stadium. They'll play the Duke Blue Devils. And, of course, Durham, North Carolina, only about 15 miles down the road, so expect a big crowd. Blue Devils. Better work from the East, but Gabby Little from Houston High, she'll play at Mississippi, steps in. And look at Little, stay with it. They'll go out of bounds, back to the East.
Gabby Little is one of my favorite players to watch at practice yesterday. On those shots, they didn't have a ton of goalkeepers, so they had to take a lot of shots on the male goalkeepers, and she was just hitting all the corners and places they could not reach. Her placement was impeccable.
Yeah, she was absolutely singing the net. Good catch there by Allie Dosman. The East trying to stay with it. That's Jenna Bike. Quite a few players going to Boston College and Rutgers. 2 programs flying high. The West, speaking of flying high, making that run down the right side is Morgan Weaver. Weaver will play collegiately at Washington State. Falls in front. Maddie Gonzalez has a shot, still bouncing around, and it's picked up yet again by Erin Seppi.
Yeah, Morgan Weaver in her all-time career has 93 goals and 40 assists, and you can see that on this one because not only does she cross it in, but then when the goalie punches it back out, she's able to follow back through and get another shot on here.
Gabby Little had it for a moment. She lost it, pushed forward. The West will clean it up out of the back. West keeping it on the carpet. Clean soccer right now, particularly from the West. On it is number 22, Amber Hoot. The big, tall Korniak pushes it forward, trying to get it to Little, but good defending out of the back by the East. On the spin right now is number 21, Nicole Whitley. Whitley is going to Rutgers along with Amanda Visco, also here today. And, of course, Rutgers playing in the College Cup. They lost to Penn State 2-0 yesterday.
Whitley's one of those players you might expect to be a leader out there today. You know, she's one of those New Jersey girls. Like I said earlier today, there's about 7 of them out there today, and she was a junior and senior captain for her high school. And being a junior captain, that's a pretty big feat. You should expect some leadership from her.
Of course, Carly Lloyd played at Rutgers and from New Jersey, the World Cup Golden Boot winner, most valuable player for the USA. So, Allie, well said. Great soccer, particularly for the women in New Jersey. The West keep possession. Korniak was hoping to get it in with that left foot. One back by the East. On the turn for the East, Jenna Bike. Sun starting to set here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now Little again. Great spin by Little. She'll stay with it. Good no call by the referee. Little pushing forward. Numbers are there. Flag stays down at the moment, and Little not able to do much with it.
Yeah, I think we should look for Little to be pretty vital. She looks pretty comfortable with her left foot out there on that side.
Sam Hyatt, the center back, got her head on it. One back by Casey Richards. Richards had it for a moment. And now here comes the West out of the back again. 71, Lucy Davidson. She'll play at Portland.
Yeah, and she was Gatorade 2015 Player of the Year in Oregon, so she's staying out in her home state, and she's also trained with that U20 national team in San Diego last year. 87 career goals.
Allison King will deflect it out of bounds. It'll be a throw in back to the East. The East in the light blue jerseys, the West in the blue and red striped jerseys. Looked like a foul there from Allison King just outside the 18, and this will be a golden opportunity for the East.
Yeah, this will be a pretty big play. Here's a replay on that foul right there. Yeah, you can see she didn't really hit much of the ball and had her elbow definitely into the back of Megan McCool, number 18 on the East.
Hearing the voice of Allie Dosman joining me in the booth, I'm Dean Linke. I want to thank James Alverson for his great analysis as part of the boys' game. Here's the shot by the East. It's deflected. It'll be a corner kick for the East. And rushing over to take the corner kick will be number 19, Casey Richards. As Casey Richards from Allendale, New Jersey, she'll be playing at Georgetown next year.
Yeah, Casey Richards had some of the most balanced stats out of all the girls on this list. 52 career goals and 60 career assists, but looks like that corner kick couldn't quite make it over the goalie.
Those are big-time numbers indeed. The West going the other way, though, after that corner kick. Pushing down the left side. Flying down the field is the West. Gonzalez is right in front, but picked up neatly there by Seppi. East will switch fields. It'll fall here now to Megan McCool. McCool from Philadelphia. Boy, I tell you what, at 6'2", the feet, though, of Korniak, and she's on it right now, very good. Here's the left, trying to play it to Little. One bounce, Little's there, she shields. Gonzalez is also there. Nice turn. She had Gonzalez if she needed. She decided she was going to take the shot.
Yeah, that shot didn't look quite as much, didn't have as much power on as that I think she wanted to. Makes me think that she might be left-footed all time because it didn't look like a very comfortable shot. Definitely not what we saw yesterday with the placement and power.
Allison King steps up. Now played in the middle. They seem to be looking for Little quite a bit. That's Morgan Weaver that time.
The East bench is sitting tight, but it looks like we already have a whole group of girls on the West warming up. Might see some quick substitutions.
Indeed, every member of the West bench warming up, and everybody's sitting neatly for the East. Amber Hoot plays it forward. Flag is up, though. It won't matter, as just getting a head start on the play was Morgan Weaver. She was offside, and now a player's down. Keep in mind, both teams, we think, just with one goalkeeper, so they got to be careful there.
Can take a look here and see what happened to Seppi. Looks like she might have gotten rocked in the face with that ball, but it doesn't look like That should be a long-term injury. Anytime you get hit in the face with the ball, though, it hits you right in the nose, your eyes start watering. You think it's really bad, even if it doesn't hurt as bad.
It hurts watching, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Always worried about concussions. They'll do a quick check. I think she's fine. Big smile as well. Trainer gives a thumbs up.
Yeah, and like you said, we only have one goalie for each of these teams, so losing either of them at any point would be a huge blow.
Looks like the West, Don Bremen, Tom Bunnell, and Deborah LaPrath going to go to their bench here. Players getting ready to come in. Taylor Korniak, she'll take a shot from distance, looked up and saw the goalkeeper a little bit off her line.
Those long legs definitely have some power behind them.
.31 and change remaining here in the first. Still no score. It was scoreless at halftime of the boys' high school soccer All-America game. Then 3 goals in the second half, 2 by the East, gave the East the winner. Gonzalez got a piece of it. Cleaning it up, though, is Chantel Swaby. Swaby, who will be going to Rutgers. Her sister is a star at Boston College, and she's not going to join her there. Going to try to pave her own path.
And they both play center back, too.
Could have been the Swaby sisters together, but boy, Mike O'Neill's done an amazing job at Rutgers. Congratulations to him and all the Scarlet Knights for their brilliant run to the College Cup.
It's amazing how those few inches that Korniak has just make such a difference. She's just always a force right there in the middle of the field.
Great ball forward, trying to find Morgan Weaver. And now the East players are up and at 'em. What a treat for the best of the best seniors who played high school soccer. And, of course, in the day of age of academy soccer, sometimes they can go the other way. But when you take a look at the schools where these players are going, you know that they're representing the creme de la creme. Here comes the East. Under 30 minutes remaining. Cleared out by the West.
And there's really nothing like playing high school soccer under the lights for your school. You know, it's different when you're here and you're playing with your club team or you're playing in a game like this where you don't really know the girls. So it's good that so many of these girls play for such amazing high schools and are able to stick with them.
Here's a shot for the East, dialed up there by number 10, Jenna Bike.
Jenna Bike is one of the best ranked girls here. You can see she has that nice touch with her right foot over to the left, but she isn't able to keep that bouncing ball on the ground.
Battle for it. Second ball cleaned up by the East. Here's a shot from distance. Absolutely hammered from way downtown. Megan McCool challenging the goalkeeper.
And that's exactly what you can expect from Megan McCool. Here you see she has that perfect left-footed touch and then that right-footed shot, and just the goalie does everything she can to stop. You can just see the power behind that, and that's what you expect from McCool with 128 career high school goals.
DeMarchi had the save on that one. She gets her paw as well on this corner kick as here come the East, but what a shot by McCool.
Exactly. McCool can just be that difference maker, and we can already see that out there today.
That was a big-time shot.
Oh, yeah.
So a corner kick now here. The East quickly take it back across in front. Korniak is there. The East starting to pepper the West net, including McCool. Korniak will clean it up. The West will try to counter. Sticking with it. But tracking all the way back there for the East is Amanda Visco. Number 9, one back by the West. 15, Jordan Lacey. Lacey has it. Lacey will go to Texas San Antonio. On the spin, number 2, Ireland Dunn. And Dunn will earn the corner kick.
Here she is, you know, she's trying to make that turn, but number 22 on the East, that's Laura Suero. She's able to kick it out and earn that corner kick. Now we have a big sub out here on the East.
Yeah, lots of players coming in and out. We'll try to get you updated as you see number 17 going to the bench, Erin Convery. She's going to Boston College, and it's not a corner kick, it's a throw-in. Went out right by the corner flag. And now it'll come back and be a goal kick. 26 and change left here in the first. Goal kick, bomb long, second ball. Won by the West, but now cleaned up by the East. Several subs in now for the East. Right now on it is number 14, Kayla Aristivo. Plays at St. Anthony. She'll go to Lehigh. And Korniak, she is a presence out there at 6'2", but very, very clean feet. Jalen Woodard, number 5, had it for a moment as they try to find again Ireland Dunn. Dunn stays with it. Dunn in the 18, down near the end line, knocked out of bounds, and corner kick for the West.
You know, when you're in those kind of situations where you've made that long run down the left side, you can see here Ireland Dunn passing it off. And, you know, that doesn't really feel like a loss. Getting a corner kick out of that situation definitely isn't a bad thing.
So corner kick for the West, driven in, but right to the goalkeeper.
The West just needs to get a little bit more air on that with Taylor Korniak right there in the middle. Just any 50-50 balls, most likely going to be a good thing for you.
You see Korniak has pushed forward because of that corner kick. You're right, Allie. If they just pop it high, she's got 4 or 5 inches on that entire back line.
Exactly. You know, I'm all of 5'8", but I've been this tall since I was about 12. So when I was playing soccer in middle school and everything, that's what they always wanted me to do. But I wasn't too much of a force with my head.
Certainly height is a big advantage. Height and speed, you can't exactly teach that. Ellie Dosman played club soccer at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. Of course, the varsity coach there, Aaron Rogers, trying to build the program slowly but surely. It's going to take some time, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Knocked out of bounds. We throw in back to the West. Almost midway through here, the first half. Both teams have had a couple dangerous opportunities. Perhaps the best, though, coming from the East as Megan McCool let one rip from 25 plus.
Yeah, it really seems like, you know, the West is dominating possession, but the East has gotten some better shots off of their limited opportunities.
It's been a beautiful day here in Raleigh, North Carolina. The sun has been out all day, but now as the sun sets, it's going to cool down and cool down quickly. Our man on the field, Coach Cunningham, went running for his coat not too long ago. It's going to get cold out there a little bit, Allie.
Yeah, but it's definitely a little bit warmer than it is back in Ohio, where I'll have to head back to after this game today.
Allie Dosman heading back to be a part of the staff for the Columbus Crew Portland Timbers MLS Cup game tomorrow.
Yeah, and big news today, Kai Kamara, the leading goal scorer for the Crew, is questionable now for the game after suffering an injury in practice. So hoping that he can figure that out. Because even regardless if you're cheering for Portland and Columbus, you want full squads at, top strength for such a huge game.
Oh, he is a big-time player as well. That would be Heartbreak City for the Crew for sure. Hopefully he'll be all right. You wonder if there's any gamesmanship going on. I doubt it. Certainly hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Madison Lauk, number 10, with the throw-in. Game starting to get physical. All over it there was Ireland Dunn, trying to stay with it. Dunn called for the foul to come back to the east.
Yeah, you can take a look at this foul here. You can see Dunn was all up on her back. Looks like it was a pretty good call.
Stepping in here for the East, picking the pocket of the West. Good run inside, a turn. Great move there by Sophia Galati off the bench. She will play collegiately at Princeton, and number 7 with an impact play there for the East.
Yeah, it can be hard sometimes when you get a ball and bouncing to keep it on the ground, and that was exactly what she struggled with.
It's an artificial surface here at Cardinal Gibbons High School, but one of the better ones that you'll see. Tim Healy, the head coach of the Cardinal Gibbons boys high school team, will join me at halftime. A little bit of trouble in the back, but cleaned up. Erin Seppi, what can you tell us about her?
Well, Erin Seppi was the only female goalkeeper at practice on Friday, so I thought she might be, a little bit more settled in with her team as opposed to Lauren DeMarchi. She's from Monroe Township High in New Jersey, and she's going to Maryland next year. And Maryland currently only has one goalkeeper will have only one goalkeeper rostered next year, and she will be a junior. So definitely potential for Seppi to make an impact pretty quickly.
Long throw in from Madison Lauk. Out of bounds and back to the east, right at midfield. Getting set to take the throw in, Francesca Venezia from St. Anthony's. Mentioned earlier that she'll be going to Boston College. This is Jalen Thompson, number 33. Thompson will be going to Virginia Tech and Blacksburg.
Yeah, and Thompson was struggling a little bit at practice on Friday with an ankle injury. You can see down there that it was pretty wrapped up, so keep an eye on that as well.
That right ankle indeed wrapped up for number 33, Jalen Thompson, Eastern Regional High School in New Jersey. Allie Dosman told you about how many players from New Jersey a part of this one.
Yeah, there's 8 girls from New Jersey, 3 girls going to Rutgers, but actually the college that has the most representations from today is Boston College. There are 5 girls that are intending on taking their talents to Boston College next year.
There are 20 minutes remaining in this one down the left side, and it'll go out of bounds.
It's interesting to see how the West has seemed so settled in their formation. Yesterday the East was mostly spending their time working on their back 4 formation, and the West just kind of was working on playing with each other. But I assume that's mostly because the West is anchored by Sam Hyatt, and they don't really have to worry about organization.
Well said. The East will go back to its bench. Laura Sueto and Chantel Swaby will come back into the game for the East. Swaby wearing 31, Sueto wearing 22. Sophia Galati, number 7, has been fighting since coming off the bench. She tries to stay with it. It'll come back to the West. You're watching the 2015 Girls High School All-America game right here on TopDrawerSoccer.com and presented by Continental Tire. Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. Learn more at ContinentalTire.com. Coming in hard was Jalen Thompson with that ankle wrapped.
Definitely isn't holding her back.
Indeed. Kayla Estivo, number 14, kept alive. Now it'll fall to number 23. That's Allie Reynolds. She'll play at Rhode Island.
She was 2015 Conference MVP in 2014-2015 Regional All-Star, 2014-2015 All-State. All of these girls, they're very decorated.
Huge trophy cases for each and every one of them, indeed. The East staying with it. A great ball squared. And a shot off the crossbar coming. Sydney Brackett looked like there was a player open. She decided to shoot it anyway and almost snuck one in. Number 3, Sydney Brackett from downtown.
Sydney Brackett is another one of those girls who's been attending women's national teams camps, and you can see that left foot with a great shot, almost exactly upper 90, but she hits that crossbar. Man.
Lauren DeMarchi was stumbling back, as you see. Number 3 for the East, Sydney Brackett, Hollis, New Hampshire. She will be playing at Syracuse.
Sydney Brackett also coaches youth soccer. You got to wonder what kind of perspective that gives on girls.
Oh, they got to love having her as a coach for sure. Under 16 minutes remaining here in the first. Early on, the West did have some possession, but of late, it's been the East with the more dynamic attack.
Yeah, they definitely have, and it's working in their favor to be able to slowly build up instead of just rely on breakaways by McCool. You can tell the girls are getting more settled, too. Everyone seems more calm.
What a great header there by Jalen Thompson, keeping it alive, number 33. Pushed it forward perfectly to Kayla Aristivo, but intercepted by the West. They'll try to go the other way. Jordan Lacey, number 15. She'll drop it quickly to Macy Miller from Carmel, Indiana. She'll play for Amy Burberry at the Indiana Hoosiers. And here comes the West, Ireland Dunn. Dunn, she'll go right through you if she needs to, trying to stay with it. Dropped right side here to Lacey. Lacey had it for a moment, taken away, and the East will go the other way. Picked up now by number 23, Allie Reynolds.
The West never really seemed to have a rhythm in that attack. It kind of seemed like they were always about to give up the ball, playing catch-up.
Gabby Little, who was all over the place in the first 15 minutes for the West, getting ready to check back in for Deborah LaPrath and the Western bench. Coming in quickly for the East is number 12, Morgan Busaka. She'll play at Fordham.
She's one of those Northern Highland regional girls, so you know she's pretty familiar with her head coach, Tara Madigan, who's also the head coach at Northern Highland. She was out there screaming at them yesterday, but it sounds like since there were a few girls from Northern Highland, they're pretty used to that.
Very intense, and she doesn't hide it. Good pressure, but clean defending there by Sam Hyatt. Sally Dosman has told you her story. They will count on her to run the ship back there. And the West going the other way. Remember, Hyatt started this by great defending. It's in front to Little. Little. A hard tackle coming in on Little. And it looks like a player hurt for the East, holding her arm. That doesn't look good. As number 22, Laura Suero. And it looks like she's hurt her arm bad.
Yeah, that does not look good. She's going to Penn State next year, and she's the 10th ranked defender in the country on Top Drawer Soccer.
See if we can take a look at the injury.
So you can see she goes in there with her goalie, and her goalie's just coming full speed, and that's just knees to shoulder. I've separated my shoulder before, and it just, you lose your range of motion so much. Luckily, if it's just a separation, it's not that severe of an injury, but man, that was one of the most painful things I've sustained.
Yeah, the goalkeeper went right through her shoulder and kind of left her arm dangling there just a little bit. Well, you never like to see that happen. Laura Suero, as you said, going to Penn State. The Nittany Lions in town. They'll play tomorrow about 5 miles from here at WakeMed Soccer Park for a national championship against the Duke Blue Devils.
And Suero's the real deal. You know, as a junior, she was a finalist for the Pennsylvania Gatorade Player of the Year. Just defensive MVP and first team all-conference every single year she played in high school.
Well, she got up and just started running over toward the bench. She is in some major pain.
That's the problem with the shoulder injuries, is your shoulder has to hang on to the rest of your arm, so the weight of your arm is just like constant pain on your shoulder.
So Sueto will be attended to by the trainer on staff, and that may be her night, but certainly most important thing is hopefully she'll be healthy for her Penn State Nittany Lions season as well. Lights are on here at Cardinal Gibbons High School in Raleigh, North Carolina at halftime. Here come the West. It's Macy Miller, Carmel, Indiana. Mentioned she'll play for the Hoosiers. Amy Burberry's done a nice job in 3 years at Indiana. And the tall one, number 20, Taylor Korniak. Future star with the Buffaloes of Colorado, back into the game at 6'2". The East played into space. Defending is Sam Hyatt. And Hyatt did enough, just closing down the angle.
You know, that was Nicole Whitley that played that ball, and that's just such a hard thing to gauge when you're not used to playing with people. You don't know how fast they are, how close you can play it in, and then especially with the turf, that's going to make it go faster than you ever even want it to.
A little over 10 minutes remaining here in the first 2015 High School Girls All-America game on TopDrawerSoccer.com and presented by Continental Tire. This will be a dangerous opportunity now for Layla Bensad Johnson from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Still undecided on where she's going to play collegiately. She's going to take this with her right.
West has almost everybody in there.
She mishit that one. Would like to have it back.
Yeah, she's actually the only undecided player out there today for the girls. She's listed as interested in Stanford, Princeton, Yale, Harvard, Columbia. So I think she's pretty smart.
Indeed. Wow, what a list right there. Casey
Yeah.
Richards now coming back on for the East along with Amanda Visco. Coming off for the East is Sydney Brackett and Kayla Aristivo. Both those players showed well. Macy Miller had it for a moment. Jade Reuters, number 15, will run it down, and she'll have the throw in for the East. 9 minutes, 20 seconds left here in the first. Still no score. Out of bounds off the West, and a throw in about 25 yards out.
Got to think the goalies are happy about that sun going down. I know the glare was pretty bad for us up here. It had to be pretty bad for them as well.
Oh, yeah, it was very bad. No sun now, though, as it's cooling down. Last night it was in the mid-30s. Here comes Little. Little staying with it. Korniak down on the ground. In the West, back to Korniak. Korniak will run it down with that big, long stride going near post.
Korniak and Little back in the game just change it for the West. You know, the East was having the advantage with possession for a little bit, but it was while Korniak and Little were both on the sideline.
Swaby with Korniak all over. Swaby pushes it in time, though, right side. And now the East. Little bump looked like a foul. It is. They'll get the whistle with help from the assistant referee, and the East with the dangerous free kick opportunity.
Yeah, you can't get away with that one when you're right in front of the sideline ref. Here you can check it out right here, and that's Allison Whitfield, and it looks like she gives her a little bit of a tug and a pull. Dangerous spot to be giving away a free kick.
Whitfield from Louisville, Kentucky, and she'll play collegiately at Louisville. That's got to be a dream. 7.5 minutes remaining here in the first. Still no score, but another opportunity for the East. Bouncing around, it's loose. And picked up cleanly there by Lauren DeMarchi.
And that was Whitfield again with almost that costly mistake, and that can be the problem with having, you know, when you're playing collegiate soccer, you're used to playing almost a whole 90 minutes. You only get a few subs, and high school soccer as well. So I can imagine it's a little bit harder to get into a rhythm, especially with girls you don't know.
Stolen away by the East, a shot from distance. As the East in perfect position, able to pick the pocket, and this one dialed from long distance.
A rare mistake from Sam Hyatt, and the East almost able to capitalize it. Lauren DeMarchi, she had a little bit of pressure on her. I don't know what would have happened.
That was Nicole Whitley stepping up and taking the shot. You can hear the coaches telling the East to pressure hard on that back line from the West, but able to get out of danger. They push it forward to Maddie Gonzalez. Maddie Gonzalez, a future Bronco with Santa Clara. And the West continue to change players coming out of the game for the West. Allison King, number 12. Hyatt will stay in there, of course. We thought maybe she would. Allison Whitfield will also come out for the West. Coming into the game is number 71, Lucy Davidson. She'll play at Portland. Handball called. And Korniak will leave it for number 10, Madison Lauk. Lauk from Tennessee will play at the U, Miami.
Yeah, and she actually just played in the Tennessee All-Star high school game with Gabby Little. She earned defensive MVP, and Gabby Little earned offensive MVP, so they're a little familiar with each other.
Hyatt bombs it long just outside of the 18. A whistle as Casey Richards was there. It'll come back to the East. 5 minutes and change left. The East still trying to get a couple players in here, waiting patiently. Number 13, Francesca Venezia. Also waiting over here, number 8, Carrie Zerfoss. Zerfoss will play in Boston for Northeastern. Boy, Korniak, I mean, you kind of get caught up in the fact she's 6'2" because she truly stands out, but then you watch her feet and their ability to cut and turn back and pass. She's a complete package. I'd like to see her get forward more in front of the goal because, as we saw in practice yesterday, she can finish.
She's listed as the number 58th player in the nation on TopDrawerSoccer.com and has 56 career goals.
Hyatt. You can just sense that composure that Hyatt has.
And that's exactly what you want from your center back.
Good shield, picked up by the goalkeeper.
And you can tell, too, Seppi's having to do a little bit more work on the East, coming out and kind of acting as that main polarizing role in the center versus you have Hyatt as your big polarizing factor in the center of the defense in the back.
And there's Hyatt taking that long goal kick from Seppi. Second ball cleaned up, though, by the East. We saw Nicole Whitley bomb one moments ago. She checks it back. Whitley still waiting for it. She's on it now. Showing for a moment was Allie Reynolds, but they'll come all the way back. Plenty of time left here in the first. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Swaby under pressure. She'll handle it. Playing it forward. It's deflected off. And here comes the East. Jenna Bike on her bike. Bike sent across right in front. And it's off the far post. Are you kidding me? Looked like it was going to be an own goal. Looked like there was an East player there, and none of it happens. It's still no score.
And that was a great follow-up by Jenna Bike, and she just hits it into the middle and hopes for the best, and she gets the best that she wants. McCool's right there, but it looks like it was already crossed the line on that interior post. Oh, just so close, but not quite.
Wow, McCool was there. It was off of Hyatt.
They were both there, yeah.
Yeah, it was off of Hyatt. Would have been an own goal maybe, but the post, the best friend there for the West. Wow. Another great look by Joe Ferrara and Ian Lang and the crew here. An excellent shot of that last opportunity.
It's going to be rare that you have a mistake like that from Sam Hyatt, and it's just as rare to have a miss like that from McCool. So, crazy play.
Incredible. You see now coming off for the East, number 5, Rachel Kingston. Here's Hyatt. That was deflected off of Hyatt and almost went in. Did not cross the line, though. Korniak.
Perfect ball.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Lucy Davidson will try to run it down. She'll play it back to Hyatt. Hyatt will survey. They'll go backwards to try to go forwards here as the West trying to put some passes together. The East with the best opportunity so far, going off the far post and back to the goalkeeper.
Now you can see Megan McCool out there. She's ready for this kick. After what Jenna Bike did with just some pressure, McCool is ready to get her chance back.
Yeah, Bike stayed with it as it was flicked. She ran it down. There's Hyatt again. Excellent spin coming from the East, and they'll run out of real estate. It'll come back to the West. 60 seconds remaining here in this one.
Got to think after halftime, the East is going to try and switch their attack and go down their left flank instead of the right because you have Hyatt cheating a little bit more to that side and Jenna Bike out there on the left.
A little over 30 seconds remaining here in the first. The East, they've got numbers forward, going far post, but can't make it happen.
We'll take another look here at that. You have on the East number 19, Casey Richards. She's a cross-in with her right foot, but she just doesn't really give her players a chance.
And that will count it down after 45 minutes of play as part of the 2015 Girls High School Soccer All-America game. No score, plenty of opportunities. It's a fun one here at Cardinal Gibbons High School in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you're watching it all on TopDrawerSoccer.com. We'll step aside as this game is presented to you by Continental Tire.
There's a place where you really live, where you can do what you love to do. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires. Gain miles and save money with EcoPlus technology. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Welcome back to Cardinal Gibbons High School, a wonderful host yet again for the 2015 Boys and Girls High School Soccer All-America game, seen right here on TopDrawerSoccer.com and presented by Continental Tire. Dean Linke along with Allie Dosman, and pleased to be joined now by the wonderful host here from Cardinal Gibbons High School, Tim Healy, the head coach now in his 12th year. Is that right, 12 years?
Yep, 12 years. 13 overall, JV coach, but 12 as the varsity coach.
Winner of 5 state titles under Coach Healy in 2006, 08, 10, 11, and 14.
We're a little sad we didn't add 15 to it this year since we moved up to 4A, but very proud of all the boys that have contributed to the program and all the work that they've done and everything that they've accomplished.
Tim, I know not only do you love coaching that team, you love being a part of this school. It is an amazing facility and, of course, a wonderful host again for the second year now for this great event.
Last year I helped out where I was just kind of just the host, and it was a lot of fun, so we would definitely welcome them back. But this year I got the chance to kind of be one of the coaches, and it's a little bit different because you really get to kind of know the players in that short time because everyone's very open to kind of like just being around each other, and they want to play well, and they realize that they have to kind of work together really quickly. So you kind of get to know the players and their personalities, and just the way that they play compared to last year. It was a lot more fun for me because I knew a little bit more about the guys.
I certainly enjoyed calling it. One of the fascinating things, I think, particularly with the boys' game, is a lot of undecided players. As you know, I travel around the country calling college soccer as well, and there were a handful of players that played in this game that were noticed by college coaches, Virginia, Penn State, just to name a few, that picked up players just from this game and this broadcast.
I would think so because, I mean, just my dad was actually in the stands, and I got to see him before he left, and he was just like, that was an amazing group of guys out there. And wouldn't you love to coach them all year? And absolutely. So anyone who hasn't been picked up, they have to be able to send this link and something like that. They're going to catch some coaches' eyes.
Coming back to Cardinal Gibbons High School, it's right here in the state capital for North Carolina. As you just said, moved up to 4A, though. The facility's fantastic, and probably more important to you, despite all your success, is the academics as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the tough things that that you have to work with all the time with the kids, and you don't want to lose that aspect. And I actually sat out a kid last year for the whole month of August because his grades weren't where I thought they should be. And looking back on it, he graduated. He's going to graduate this year. And one of the things he said is that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to him. And you always got to keep those small things in mind especially when working with student athletes, that they're a student first.
Eric Stratman, who has been the director of this event now for the 5th year. You've been around a lot of people that give their time willingly, but boy, I'll tell you what, he does an amazing job running this event.
Again, it wasn't until last year where I got to know him and work with him. I don't know of anyone who does this more for the love of the game and love of the kids than Eric. And you can just kind of tell when I first kind of met him, you don't quite know where he kind of stands, but then as you get to know him, it's all about the kids. So, and I think, I hope that this game builds up steam and builds up and becomes a bigger event because he really deserves it. He does a lot for him.
Tim Healy's done an amazing job here at Cardinal Gibbons High School. As we mentioned, multiple state titles. Hopefully you'll get another one next year with some quality kids, including some kids from St. Thomas More. Big fan of that program as well. Tim, thanks for being with us.
Thanks a lot, Dean.
Good to see you. Tim Healy, the head coach of the Cardinal Gibbons High School boys soccer team, and of course the East winning the boys high school All-America game by a score of 2-1. And we're going to step aside, take a commercial break from our good friends at Continental Tire, and come back with more from Raleigh, North Carolina. It's the 2015 Girls High School Soccer All-America game on TopDoorSoccer.com and presented by Continental Tire.
There's a place where you really live, where you can do what you love to do. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires. Gain miles and save money with EcoPlus technology. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Welcome back to Raleigh, North Carolina. Cardinal Gibbons High School, the host for the 2015 Boys and Girls High School All-America game. We thank you for joining us here on TopDrawerSoccer.com. I'm Dean Linke, pleased to be joined by Allie Dosman. Of course, we want to thank as well the talented head coach for the Cardinal Gibbons High School team, Tim Healy, for joining us here at halftime. Allie Dosman now back on the headset. Everybody having a good time, bundled up, and I'll tell you, Allie, no score, but certainly plenty of opportunities in the first half.
Oh, yeah, there was no shortage of action, even though there was a shortage of score. And that's what's kind of cool about this game is that with all the individuals that are kind of learning to play each other, you're going to have a lot of chances out there.
All right, and Allie, one of the things that we talked about as well in the first game is the national team connection for a lot of these players.
That's right. U.S. Soccer didn't want to totally interrupt the college season, so they've been calling up some high school players for the U20 national team qualification games, specifically Sam Hyatt on the west and Megan McCool on the east. We talked about both of them a whole lot in that last half. They both traveled to Honduras to represent the U.S. in September, and then Hyatt returned with the U20s to Spain in October as well. But as I said before, there are just a couple of the all-stars that are out there today.
And then you also talked about the New Jersey and Rutgers connection as well as Boston College.
That's right. There's 5 girls out there from Boston College today. And, you know, Boston College fell in the first round of the tournament this year, so I'm sure they're going to be looking for some of those new players like Jenna Bike to be out there, adding a spark to their team next year. And also just New Jersey has always been a powerhouse for this game, and this year is no exception. There are 8 girls from New Jersey, the most representing any state. Now, this game is only 3 years old, but New Jersey has the most representations all time, followed by Indiana and then our home state of Ohio. Makes sense why Rutgers was in that College Cup, Dean. You know, they have plenty to choose from in their home state.
Mike O'Neill, what a great job he's done since replacing Glenn Crooks at Rutgers. Rutgers falling yesterday to Penn State. Of course, the Penn State Nittany Lions also represented. Laura Swirl, though, injuring her shoulder. Don't think she's going to be back. Hope she's okay.
Yeah, and, you know, even if she's a little iffy, it would make sense that they would hold her back because it's not worth risking it.
Both teams getting set to start the second half. Both these games being streamed live on TopDrawerSoccer.com. We're hoping that Top Drawer Soccer will also archive these games, hopefully work in connection with Kyle Lang and the gang at Triangle Video Productions, who've done an amazing job out here early getting set up and have given you some great looks at this one. There's another good look down there as Coach Cunningham getting an inside look of the West team here. It's been a fun day, Allie.
Yeah, definitely. And it was interesting to watch the variation in the coaching styles at practice yesterday, during the game today, and at halftime. Head coach for the East, you had Tara Madigan, and she was just really pumping the girls up, like chatting with them the whole time, versus the West coach were kind of letting the girls talk among themselves more so, figure out making their changes. So it'll be interesting to see if there are any big variations for the East in the second half, since Tara was definitely giving them an earful out there.
Beautiful look here at the turf field. Cardinal Gibbons High School, state capital North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. Only 5 miles or so from Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina, where the Women's College Cup is going on. Of course, the Castle Showcase tournament featuring some of the rising stars at, you know, not just U18 level, but right down U15, U14. Some of the best girls soccer players in the country are here in the Triangle.
Yeah, a lot of these girls out here today have been playing with their club teams yesterday, and they play tomorrow. I know Megan McCool specifically, her club team is out here, but she was waiting until after this game to go out on the field with them because she wanted to make sure that she was ready.
All right, first half in the books, second half getting set. The East team in the kind of Carolina blue jerseys, not totally a Carolina blue, but pretty close. The West in a red and more royal blue striped jerseys, as Adidas has done a fantastic job again outfitting these teams, and they're glad to do it. We're glad to have Continental Tire as the presenting sponsor. You see them right across the jerseys and also on your scorebug here as well. And, of course, TopDrawerSoccer.com giving us an outlet to stream these games live. I'm Dean Linke. She's Allie Dosman. Delighted to be with you here as the second half is underway.
I like how those uniforms have the players' names on the back, too. Really makes it special, not that just that they're one more player cycling through this game.
I love that, and it's just another detail that you know Eric Stratman would provide. What a job he has done as the director of this game. Nothing rattles the man. The Big E, as I like to call him. He's a big man. He's in charge, though, and, boy, he sacrifices a lot, including some of his own nickels and pennies to make this happen. He's going to tell me it's more than nickels and pennies. I can assure you that. This one played all the way back. The West now. Number 17 stepping up there. That's Aaron Convery from Ridge High School. Allie Dosman told you about that Boston College-Rutgers connection. Convery will go to Boston College.
We talked about some changes you can already see in that West back line. It doesn't look like Sam Hyatt is starting the game back there, so we're going to have some different people anchoring the West defense. But the good thing about this game, Dean, there's no shortage of good choices.
No doubt. From one All-Star to another All-Star to another one. Keep in mind, this is just a high school field. Look how well lit it is. It's just a really nice looking shot here on your TopDrawerSoccer.com screen. Now the East will drop it back to try to go forward. They play it middle of the park. Picked up by the West as it falls to Jalen Woodward. Seattle Prep. She's going to play at Southern Cal in Los Angeles. So many great programs as you go down the list. Boston College, Portland, Vanderbilt, Utah, Santa Clara, Middle Tennessee State, Texas, San Antonio, Mississippi, Miami, Indiana, Montana, St. Louis, Tennessee, Washington State, Louisville, USC. That's just the West team. And in today's world, when you think about women's college soccer, even the Final Four, yeah, Florida State's your reigning champs, but I'll tell you what, parity now is key. It used to be just North Carolina, maybe.
I bet you in a couple of years they're definitely competing.
Indeed. The Eagles, great program, well coached. 41 minutes and change left here in the second half. Starting to cool down in Raleigh, North Carolina. The West dropping it into the 18. He's trying to push him out of there, coming over and support Chantel Swaby. Will play at Rutgers, a dangerous opportunity, kind of not a mini bike, but a backward volley there, and it'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, and you can see Ireland Dunn out there doing what she does best, which is getting quality assists and, you know, getting a little cute with that one, but it almost worked out.
Yeah, didn't miss by much. That replay again brought to you by Continental Tire. West has looked good here to start the second half. The East perhaps with the better of the opportunities in the first.
Seems like both teams are settling down and trying to keep more possession.
Amber Hoot, number 22, had a touch a moment ago. Now it'll fall to number 2, Ireland Dunn. Right side, the West pushing forward, dropped in front, making a run right down the middle. And open was Jordan Lacey, but the ball never got there. It'll be a corner kick, though, for the West. Corner kick West with the left foot, driven high. Knocked out of there and cleared. Cleaned up quickly by Lucy Davidson. And the West keep possession. They can get it back into the 18, right at the top of the 18. Stepping up just in the nick of time was Chantel Swaby.
Yeah, the West definitely missed their giant Taylor Korniak out there on that corner kick, because that was finally a ball that was in the air, but they didn't have her out there with that few inches of advantage.
Could be jacket time here pretty soon.
Definitely not complaining for September though, or for December though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, indeed, incredible weather. The East on the turn, the shot deflected and kept out. A big-time shot coming from Sydney Brackett, and an even better save as getting low right there was Lauren DeMarchi.
Yeah, you can see Sydney Brackett here just with a great left-footed shot in stride, and we'll take a closer look. Yeah, Lauren DeMarchi, it looks like just dove at the exact right time with her fingertips. Lauren DeMarchi is the real deal, though. She posted a shutout in the state championship game and has 38 career shutouts.
This one back in front. This was cleared off the line. It looked like it had crossed. Cleared off the line, though, by number 71 for the West. Lucy Davidson saving the day, as DeMarchi wasn't there that time, but Davidson was.
And we'll take another look at this one here. You can see just a perfect, that's exactly where you want to place a corner kick, that far post, so you can have girls running in, getting their header onto the opposite corner. Weren't able to get that one, though, because of the defensive marking on the post, which was vital.
Played out of the back. For the West, lucky it's still zeros here, as the East with a couple opportunities. Lucy Davidson, though, saving the day with the clearance. Erin Convery will drop it back. Patience now. That was Jalen Woodard, number 5 a moment ago, and Woodard still calling for it. Instead, they'll go forward, middle of the park. This will roll all the way back, though, to the feet of Amanda Visco. Now Swaby. Ooh, hard tackle coming in. Just never slowed down on the play. There was number 15, Jordan Lacey.
Jordan Lacey from Albuquerque, New Mexico, heading to Texas San Antonio next year. Wendy State Heisman winner in 2015. She's from a small school, but she was leading goal scorer in all of New Mexico in 2014 and 2015.
Sophia Galati pushes right side here for the East. Francesca Venezia. We knocked out of bounds. It'll be a throw in down near the far corner flag. 36 minutes and change left here in this one. Still no scores. Part of the 2015 Girls High School Soccer All-America game. Venezia back in. Little bit of trouble. Remember, Olivia Silverman out from Cincinnati, Ohio, so going the distance, Lauren DeMarchi. Look at Swaby come forward, the center back for the East. She just glides, gobbles up space so quickly, cuts it back in, trying to stay with it, knocking players around. Great footwork. One too many touches, though. It'll go the other way.
She holds on just a second too long, and now the West with a quick counterattack.
Here comes the West. They need to get something going just outside the 18. Making that long run there was Macy Miller. Dropped back. And here's Jordan Lacey. Lacey. She will go hard the entire game with that right foot. Sent back in. Swaby will head it away. It'll fall. A swing and a miss for the West as it popped up a little bit on Jalen Woodward. Just like that, the other way. End-to-end action here now at Cardinal Gibbons High School. Both teams searching for that elusive goal.
That can be a problem when you're not too familiar with the girls that you're playing with. You know, we have someone like Swaby who's so good at making these offensive runs from defense, but if you're not familiar with the other girls, you don't know who to you don't have someone that's automatically covering for you when they see you making that run. That was Francesca Venezia, whose sister, Nicola, played midfield in this game last year. Must have told her sister how much fun she had. It was something that she couldn't miss out on. Sister now goes to the U in Miami.
Taken away again by the East. Overlapping run coming from the East as they continue to gel on the field. Morgan Busaka sent it in far side. Nobody home. Trying to chase it down over there is Kayla Aristivo.
Aristivo from Huntington Station, New York, heading out to Lehigh. She's an interesting player to watch because she doesn't really put up the stats, only 19 career goals and 12 career assists, but she's just a presence.
Knocked out of bounds as Swaby came over. We throw in back to the West. 12 minutes in here to the second half. Still no score. Trying to earn a corner there was Ireland Dunn. Pushing and shoving. They'll go out of bounds and
can tell Dunn's a little bit more comfortable on that right side. She wasn't willing to just bang it in with first time on her left.
More subs coming for both teams. Francesca Venezia, number 13, shows for a moment. Instead, they go long. Throw it over the top, looking for Sydney Brackett. Brackett has been dangerous on multiple occasions. The West on the attack, one final pass, and it's again handled. Aaron Seppi. Headed to Maryland. Mentioned the Maryland men's soccer team. Heartbreak City, Allie. I know you started your collegiate career at Maryland. Sasha Sorosky, they lost in penalty kicks.
I know. I was keeping tabs on that game yesterday. I'm friends with Cody Niedermeyer, the goalie out there in Maryland, and they just couldn't – their offense couldn't get any in for him on the penalty kick side, and he was just doing everything he could, like in – the game you called a few weeks ago where Cody is just amazing on PKs, but it's just can't do anything if your team's not going to sink them as well.
4 saves against Indiana in Columbus as part of the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament, and then 2 saves against a very talented team from Clemson. But you're right, his teammates just could not finish. Tsubasa Endo just knocked one over the crossbar, and he's automatic. So boy, anytime it goes to penalty kicks, you just never know what's going to happen. Tough way to lose a game and end a season. Sent in long, no problem again for the East goalkeeper.
I know you were saying earlier, Dean, that you're glad these games just end in a tie so you don't have to deal with a winner decided through penalty kicks. And I agree. I mean, I don't know what else you're going to do other than run them a whole other 90 minutes if no one's scoring. But it's just so harsh when both teams fight so hard and it's decided like that.
Clemson moving on. Wake Forest and Stanford playing down Tobacco Road in Winston-Salem on the men's side tonight at 7 o'clock. Correct. In fact, I understand quite a few players, including some Wake Forest recruits that played in that game, are headed down to Winston-Salem right now.
Saw Morgan Weaver right there on that run. She was just racing. I'd like to see some of these girls maybe decide the game. If it's a tie, we get to see them all race. I'd like to see how fast some of these girls can run because they look pretty fast out there with the ball.
Some speed on display. Speed and skill. In the case of Korniak, size. In fact, she's got all of it. She's back on the field now as well. Pinging around, there's Korniak, had it for a moment, and the East will win it back. Carrie Zerfoss, number 8, getting a touch. The schools represented collegiately by the East: Lehigh, Boston College, Syracuse, Fordham, Princeton, Duke, Boston, Virginia, Rhode Island, Georgetown, Boston College, Maryland, Penn State, Rutgers, Virginia Tech, and Northeastern. Every player here listed before the game as we broke down the rosters. I want to thank the talented Savannah Ravel for making that happen. Played into space. Way off the line there is Seppi. This is danger for the East. A little chip, parried away, loose. And it'll be a goal kick as once again Sydney Brackett, number 3, making it happen.
Yeah, that was a great ball, and she just whips it right in there with her left foot. DeMarchi has to throw her whole body in the air in order to keep that one out. And following up behind her was number 13, Venezia, and she just wasn't able to push through and make something happen.
And Venezia will get a well-deserved rest. She'll probably be back in, though, as unlimited substitution, as you often see in all-star games like this. The 2015 Girls High School Soccer All-America game earlier right here on TopDoorSoccer.com. We saw the East boys knock off the West boys by a score of 2-1. The MVP for the East, Tunde Akinlosutu. I was hoping I didn't have to say his name anymore, but it's worth mentioning one more time as he'll go to George Mason and play for Greg Andrulis. He was the MVP and joined me in the booth. We'll have the MVP of this one as well up here in the booth before we sign off from TopDoorSoccer.com here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah, I don't think it'll end 0-0, so we'll probably have an MVP standing out soon. Haven't seen much of McCool so far this half for the East. That was Macy Miller and Allison Whitfield, both heading out to the sidelines.
Game slowing down just a little bit here as it's cooling down. Back into the game is Gabby Little. Great pace in the first half. Look at Hyatt on the turn. Shoulder to shoulder and then a little hip check. Just solid defending for number 7, Sam Hyatt.
Sam Hyatt's one of those girls heading out to Boston College next year. She told me that it was just a no-brainer when she headed out there for her visit. Strong academics, and she was mostly just looking at East Coast schools. She's actually from Seattle Prep in Seattle, so pretty far away. She told me she didn't need to get away from home. There was no offense to her parents or anything like that, but that she was just mostly looking out east.
I love that. Independent, searching, wanted to go to the East Coast, and boy, she's going to be a good one as Boston College is loading up. Middle of the park, releasing on the right side. Shoulder to shoulder, still loose and knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, Rachel Kingston was just able to get past her just a little bit too late. Just a few weeks ago, she helped lead her high school team to its first state championship in 30 years. She scored 2 of the goals in that 3-1 final.
Goal kick coming, subs still rolling in and out. The weather dipping here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Allison Foley, of course, the head coach for Boston College. Very successful coach, delightful person as well. She works with Mark McDevitt and Christy Zermillion and my old friend Mike Levine. Mike Levine actually part of the 1994 U.S. World Cup staff, has been part of the Boston College staff forever. He's got to be liking it as well, working under Allison Foley, as you've mentioned so many times here today. Allie, what a recruiting class coming in.
Yeah, definitely. There's girls on the east and the west heading out to Boston College. 3 on the east. You have Jenna Bike, Jade Reuters, and Venezia, and then on the west, Convray and also Sam Hyatt.
Coming out of the game now for the west, number 5, Jalen Woodward. Went out for the east. It was number 8, Carrie Zerfoss.
Woodward actually is also from Seattle Prep, so she plays high school with Sam Hyatt as well.
She's going to Southern Cal. Former school of Amy Rodriguez, A-Rod, a star of the U.S. women's national team.
Yeah, and Jalen Woodward's mom is the head coach at Seattle U. She's been there for about 19 years, but Jalen and Sam both wanted to venture a little bit further.
Heading out. I kind of feel bad for the mom on that one, by the way. How would you not love to have your daughter playing, but Korniak keeps it alive. Layla Bensad-Johnson now into the game, wearing number 11 for the West. West trying to put some passes together. And here's Hyatt. Hyatt down on the carpet to Korniak. Kept alive by the West. Dancing over it is Amber Hoot, number 22. Here's Gonzalez. One of the smaller players on the field. Deflected out of there by the East, and a whistle and a foul on the West. It'll come back to the East.
Yeah, it looked like just Morgan Weaver went in there, and yeah, definitely some hand-on-arm action. Getting a little chippy as people are unhappy about a 0-0 score.
Yeah, somebody wants to be the hero. Yeah, a lot more physical tackles here as this game wears on. You see Little in a collision right here on the monitor with Jenna Bike.
Doesn't look like malicious on either side. Just got a little tangled up in there.
A little more direct right now as both teams trying to make anything happen. A little over 20 minutes. Korniak in a battle there, but won by Sophia Galati, who I think also looked pretty good coming off the bench. High pressure from the east. Bounced over the head of Gulati. Gulati calling for it. That's Kingston, number 5. "20 minutes remaining here in this one. Still no scores. Part of the 2015 Girls High School All-America game. It'll be cleared out and a throw-in for the West.
There have been some chances in the second half, Dean, but I feel like none of them have been as pretty as they were in the first half.
I agree. Still plenty of time left, though. Still a solid crowd, although a crowd now with multiple layers on as the temperature continues to dip. Good look at Little, number 16. She was super busy to start the game.
And she plays all kinds of positions. She's listed online as a defender, midfielder, and forward. For us, she was listed as defender, but it looks like she's played mostly midfield, a little bit of forward out here today. Definitely been a presence wherever she's been at.
And here is Little. Looking to push it forward. Little stays with it. Little looks up. She'll cut back. Top of the 18. Takes a shot. Keeps it down, but saved again. But nice work by Gabby Little.
And like I said earlier, Dean, she plays that left side almost exclusively, and you can tell on those right-footed shots they're not nearly as strong. But she powered through those people.
Here's Little again on that left side. Bumped off the ball neatly there by Jenna Bike. Bike plays it cleanly. Now Swaby will push it forward. Under 18 minutes remaining and still no score.
It's feeling kind of like it's coming in waves. The West has a few chances in a row, and then the East has a few chances in a row.
Last year they played these games at 1 and 3. This year, because of the scheduling around the Castle Showcase tournament, particularly for the girls, 2 and 4. So it'll be a little colder than last year when this one ends, but both times the weather fantastic. Tim Healy was in charge of the weather, so he's 2 for 2. 17 and change.
Looked like she's going to be okay, but Whitley kind of got turned around in there, and you always worry when you see someone go down non-contact in soccer about knees.
No threat on that pass forward from number 5, Rachel Kingston. She'll go to Boston University, play for a good friend, Nancy Feldman, who's just inducted to the Boston Hall of Fame and longtime NSCAA coach. Little. Cleared out. Starting to wonder if there is a goal in this one.
I'd be tempted, you know, Sam Hyatt's listed as a midfielder instead of a defender, pushing her up a little bit and having the trifecta of Little, Hyatt, and Korniak.
I like that plan. The West just trying to get it inside the mixer, sent out of there. Korniak will run it down. She'll turn and drop it back. It'll find now the feet of Layla Bonsar Johnson. but it's sent back the other way. One back at midfield by the West. Approaching the 15-minute mark. Hyatt, great ball on the ground, bouncing on this turf surface. Korniak with a quick touch inside the 18. Gonzalez is in. Gonzalez had a beat on it, but once again, turned away.
And you can tell just Gonzalez never really has total control, isn't able to get the real shot off that she wanted in that situation, but it was great vision by Korniak to able just flick that ball off behind her to the left without really looking.
Gonzalez again, this time with her left foot. Headed back to Gonzalez. She stays with it.
The East definitely wants to keep it on the ground in the box, because if it's in the air with Korniak out there, they're not going to win that game.
It'll go off the West, back to the East, throw in front of the West bench. Again, the East coached by Tara Madigan, Jack Nagara, and David Wolf. The West coached by Don Brayman, Tom Bonnell, and Deborah LaPrath. And a whistle here on a foul and a free kick opportunity. And it's getting a little feisty, stepping up there for the East, Casey Richards.
Yeah, and Korniak has that ball, and she just gets all feet, no ball right there. Leads to a big opportunity.
Sam Hyatt, Allie Dosman just said, like to see Hyatt push forward. She'll come all the way forward to take this free kick. Not sure if she'll be shooting this one or not. She'll take a shot at it, and high riser well over the crossbar.
We'll take another look at this, and you see Hyatt just tries to bend it right over the wall, but she just a little too high over that top crossbar. Since you haven't really worked with this team, I understand feeling like you need to take the shot at that range, but it's hard when you don't give anybody a chance by hitting it over.
Good look at the coaches here. Done an amazing job for both teams. The West coaches, Don Brayman, Tom Bunnell, and Deborah LaPrath, featured right there on your TopDrawerSoccer.com screen. Stays 0-0. The coaches down there are going to have a hard time picking out an outstanding player. There's been a lot of great play. It's going to be hard to pick one over the other. Swaby. Boy, as much as we talk about Hyatt, Swaby's pretty solid as well in the back for the East defense. And there's Hyatt.
That's right. In a 0-0 game, there's clearly solid defense all around.
Swaby again heads it right into space cleanly. Now the East will try to turn, get something going, anything going. Golati had it for a moment. She'll drop it to Nicole Whitley. Looking far side, trying to run on to it is number 5, Rachel Kingston. Shot from distance, could be trouble, far side, and back again and saved by the keeper.
And that shot out there from outside was Megan McCool. Just great vision, realizing that she had no one right on her, knowing that she can just rip it from out of bounds. We'll take another look at it here. You can see a few yards outside the box and just a great ball in. Not able to quite finish it off, but those are the kind of chances that we need to start seeing. Just
well in front of Lauren DeMarchi. The East again. Decent numbers, 3-on-3 at the moment. They push it right side. Megan McCool took that shot a moment ago. Takes it again, and it's deflected. 11 minutes remaining exactly here in this one. And the West on the counter, top of the 18, and picked up by Seppi.
We talked about Megan McCool a little bit earlier, and she is headed to UVA next year. She's really excited because she actually committed in November of her sophomore year. Here she is with the ball.
McCool with the shot, and another save coming from DeMarchi.
Like I said, Dean, Megan McCool's the real deal. She's just so composed right there in front of the box, just that perfect right touch, and both feet just the shot earlier was with her right, and this one hammering it in with her left, making DeMarchi make a huge save.
Boy, the rich get richer. Steve Swanson's got to be drooling over the thought of McCool coming to Charlottesville, Virginia. Of course, we all remember Morgan Bryan and what a job she did at Virginia, winning the Mac Hermann and going on to play a big-time role for the U.S. women, winning the Women's World Cup this summer in Canada.
It'll be a pretty big culture shock for McCool. She was telling me her high school's really small. 1,100 kids for kindergarten through 12th grade. And UVA has almost 17,000. So I can see why she's excited to get out there.
Yeah, Cardinal Gibbons has almost that in some of their classes here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Might want to take back the notion of wondering if there's a goal, as boy, the East really putting pressure on the West right now. This one out of bounds.
Yeah, and their defense is getting into it offensively. That was Jade Reuters, but she was coming up composed. She wasn't worried about the fact that she was pretty much the last defender out there, stepping it up in the middle of the field. Looks like with those substitutions, they're siding McCool over to that opposite side.
A whistle as going down to the ground was Kayla Aristivo from St. Anthony's. Quick restart, cleared out. 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. It's been pretty much all East here the last 15 minutes. Nothing a quick counter couldn't change, but the East sent it right back the other way. Korniak, clever touch, side of her foot. The West is on, and they are in right down the middle.
That was Macy Miller trying to hit Jordan Lacey and just never really had control. That's what I feel like are the biggest differences between the East counterattacks versus the West counterattacks. The East feels really in control and dangerous.
East trying to stay with it. Hard tackle coming in from the West. The shot looking far post. Nothing doing, is battling again there for the East. Megan McCool. You talked to Megan yesterday, as you said several times. Big time personality out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can tell on the field is when she gets really opened up, because she was a little bit shy from her small school. But, I mean, she's a big-time player, 128 career goals. And not only did that set a record for her school, but it set a record for her league. She's the #1 player in Pennsylvania.
Hyatt. Work it out of the back. West trying to put some passes together. They've been under heavy pressure here in the second from the East. But the scoreline still zeros.
Got to wonder if they moved McCool out left to get her away from Hyatt a little bit and see if that made a difference.
Right at the top of the 18, Seppi will step up, push it forward. Neat little trap by the East, and number 14, Kayla Aristivo. The East working out of the back. Long run coming from the East. A brilliant run here by Jade Reuters. 6 minutes remaining here in this one. Still no score. The 2015 Girls High School Soccer All-America game. Swaby doesn't panic. Handles the pressure as Jordan Lacey was all over her.
Swaby was just able to really body her up. Lacey didn't really look like she had much of a chance. Swaby was very composed.
Well, for sure, defense has taken center stage here today. Is just the composure in the back. Swaby for the East, Hyatt for the West. Been solid. Could we have one here? The West with a corner kick. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the game. Driven in. Boy, Korniak wanted to find that one. The West kept alive. Slid back across. Swaby gets a piece of it. Can't totally clear it. And now it is cleared. Allison Whitfield.
You know, we've been talking mostly about Sam Hyatt out there in the back, but number 71 on that left wing, Lucy Davidson, she's been very strong as well. She anchors the defense for her high school team as well. They just won their state title 5-0.
Swaby comes up limping just a little bit after Korniak took a swing at that one. Korniak goes down again, all 6'2" of her.
We'll take another look at that one here. There's Korniak, and yeah, her legs just got real tangled up. She fell hard.
Amanda Visco on the foul. Clock keeps running. Free kick opportunity, driven in, driven high. And too high.
Take another look at that one as well. Jalen Woodward. Yeah, just right over that post. You got to hate those wasted opportunities like that, especially when you're a player out there and you're really striving to score and you don't even get a chance.
Nope, knocked over the crossbar too deep. And there's a smile from McCool, who will go to the bench for the East with 3 minutes and change remaining. Over the top. Under 3. The East ping it forward. Opa Curlis. She's going to Syracuse. She sends it in. Trying to find the feet of Sydney Brackett, number 3. Brackett had a couple dangerous shots in the first half. Knocked away by the West. The West stay with it. Down the left side, Swaby comes over. Swaby heads it out of there. Korniak. Clever touch outside of her foot, but read perfectly by the East. Nicole Whitley, number 21, tried to get it going. He stays with it here now. Couple step overs for Curlis. Curlis, far side, cuts back in with her right. Takes a shot right in front, wide open.
Oh.
2 players were there, and it went right by both of them. It didn't matter. The flag was up anyway, Allie.
Yeah, it looks like that one was going to be a goal if it wasn't offsides, and they were just a second too short. Jenna Bike right there.
Yeah, the flag was up clearly, so even if they scored, it wasn't going to count.
Maybe a mental victory.
Here we go, back over the top again, inside the 18. It headed right back where it came from. And the East continue to push. Bike. Take it away. 63 seconds remaining in the game. Time of possession, particularly in the second half, dominated by the East. The West go the other way. They stay with it. The West could have one more run at it. Korniak will go forward. She's in a foot race. Look at her make up ground with those long strides. She stays with it. No whistle. Korniak on it. Korniak with her right foot trying to loop one in. And that could be it here with just over 30 seconds remaining.
And Korniak just makes that big run down the left side with those long legs, cuts it back into the right, and takes the shot, but can't get enough of a curve on it. This is what you expect from a tie game with these All-Stars, though. You have Jenna Bike making runs down for the East, and then Taylor Korniak for the West. Then major All-Stars really stepping it up, really wanting a goal.
Final 7 seconds. Is there one last shot here? It's got to be right now. It's deflected out of there. 2 seconds remaining. And after 90 minutes of impressive play here, the 2015 Girls High School Soccer All-American game. Great soccer, but no score.
That's right, Dean. You know, I would say the East dominated the second half, but for the most part, it would go back and forth in sections. Both teams really stepped it up. I would say star performances by Swaby and Sam Hyatt.
Well done. We're going to take a 30-second commercial break and come back and find out who the MVP of this one. So many tough choices. It's the 2015 Girls High School Soccer All-America game. Your final 0-0.
There's a place where you really live, where you can do what you love to do. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires. Gain miles and save money with EcoPlus technology. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Welcome back to Cardinal Gibbons High School. Raleigh, North Carolina, an unbelievable game here between the East and West. End-to-end action. The East really looked fantastic, but your final score is 0-0, Allie.
Yeah, and it looks like those girls, above all else, they look like they're having fun out there. And that's what matters the most, but would have loved to have seen some of those chances get put away.
All right, and of course, you would figure in a 0-0 game that you've got to give the player of the game to a goalkeeper under all kinds of pressure was Lauren DeMarchi. She is the most valuable player, and she joins me up here in the booth. Lauren DeMarchi headed to Vanderbilt as well, not that far from North Carolina. Congratulations on being the player of the game.
Thank you.
Certainly the East, a lot of great possession as well in that second half. You saw a lot of opportunities. You had to stand up tall.
Yeah, just tried to come out here and do my best. This is a great honor to be invited to play in this event. So I just want to come out here and just show what I could do.
I love seeing it practice yesterday, the camaraderie as well, not only with your teammates, but even the opposition. It's about camaraderie, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, it is. And it was a really fun environment. It was supposed to be fun, but it got really competitive. Everyone here is obviously competitive, going to the schools they're going to. So it's cool to be in a fun, competitive environment like this.
Tell us about your decision to go to Vanderbilt.
I mean, it's a great school. It has everything to offer. It's academically driven as well as athletically competing SEC school. So I'm excited to see what my future holds there.
And you grew up in Ohio, and boy, the growth of soccer in Ohio, particularly on the girls' game, you got to like it.
Yeah, love it.
And, of course, speaking of Ohio, tomorrow the Columbus Crew. Are you a Crew fan at all?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Got to support the Crew.
Indeed. They're playing for the MLS Cup. Just talk about the organization overall of this event. Great gear, great time. How much fun have you had?
It was definitely a lot of fun. You get to come out here and play with players I would have never played with. Some girls I'm going to play against in college, some girls that are just amazing players. So it was really, really cool to come out here and play with all different kinds of girls.
All right, thank you for being with us.
Thank
Good luck
you.
at Vanderbilt, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Lauren DeMarchi from the West, the goalkeeper and your player of the game. And Allie Dosman, your final thoughts on what has been a spectacular day.
It was definitely a great game out there today. There were some solid chances, and we saw star play from the star players we expected. You know, Sam Hyatt, Jenna Bike, Megan McCool. just to name a few of them. Taylor Korniak was really just such a presence out there, more than just with balls in the air. I was really impressed with them, and it gives me good hope for our women's national team going forward, since they were just a couple of those names that have been helping represent them. But 0-0 doesn't mean limited excitement for us today.
Well said. Great job, Allie Dostman. Pleasure being with you here as well. I want to thank James Alverson, part of the first game, Eric Stratman and his entire crew, including all of the coaches. Got to thank Kyle Lang, Joe Ferrara, Ian Lang as well, Savannah Ravel, Coach Cunningham, our entire crew doing an amazing job. For Allie Dostman, I'm Dean Linke. We thank you for being with us here as part of the 2015 Boys and Girls High School All-America game. Can't forget Rob Rowe, of course. Everybody involved. Once again, on the boys' side, the East knocked off the West by a score of 2-1. And after 90 minutes, no score between the East and West girls. You saw it all right here on TopDrawerSoccer.com, and all of it presented by Continental Tire.